Hey guys, I want to do another quick daily video like I did yesterday. This one I'm going to talk about inflation, and I ran across this video recently. Jon Stewart has a new show called The Problem with Jon Stewart, and I am a fan of Jon Stewart. Just full disclosure, I am a fan of him. I used to watch The Daily Show, even though I'm not super liberal. I was more liberal when I was younger, but I don't view myself as super liberal these days. I have some liberal viewpoints, but I do like Jon's point of view on a lot of things, and I do like some of the things Jon has done, with the 9/11 first responders bill and some of the stuff he's done for veterans and things like that. He's done a lot of good things, and he's got some good points. And for instance, even in this video, corporations have there's a ton of greed, and there's a ton of problems, and the collusion between corporations and the government is a huge issue. But I have a little bit of a problem with this video, and this relates to the problems that I have with the media and with other things. And Jon Stewart is one that goes after the media a lot. And I find it a little bit odd that he's sitting here saying corporate greed is causing inflation. And with a title like this isn't super clickbait. I've seen worse clickbait, but a title like this suggests to the audience that it is the cause of inflation, the only cause. I tried to do some research. I couldn't find a lot of compelling evidence either way, but it was just a quick 5-10 minute searching on Google to see if I could find some actual data that kind of says for sure either way, or is at least somewhat definitive. And I couldn't find anything, but it is something I'm going to research further, and eventually I may do a deeper dive video in one of my longer format videos, one of my weekly videos that are longer format. I may try to do a deeper dive on this, because I am curious what percent of this inflation is corporate greed. My view is, especially initially, I think the inflation was supply chain mostly. This is just off the top of my head without having data to back it up. But I mean, if you watch this video, they don't provide any data at any point. So I guess if they can do it, then I can do it too. But I will do a follow-up video where I do the actual research, and I will try to come to some kind of conclusion as to how much of this is to blame from corporate greed, and how much is supply chain, how much is low interest rates. And I think that you're never going to be able to, with this kind of thing, macroeconomics is so complicated, you can't really come to definitive conclusions, but it is something that I want to take a deeper look at. And because I just hate that people make these statements and then they don't back them up with any kind of hard evidence. And this is so prevalent in our society, and this is the whole point of my channel, is to actually provide evidence for the things that I say. So because I don't have evidence either way, I can't say either way. But if I was to guess right now, just throwing random percents, I don't know, maybe 30-40% of it is from corporate greed, and the rest is more natural causes. I don't know how well the supply chain is currently flowing. I'd like to find some data on that. If the supply chain is still pretty bogged down, and from what I can tell, it's still pretty bogged down, I think, well, let me see here. Let me see if I can find any information. I haven't looked at that. How bogged down is the supply chain? I don't see anything real definitive just off the top here, like any actual hard evidence. But I know that shipping is still pretty slow. So, and that's obviously, that's the supply chain. So my suspicion is supply chain is still contributing quite a bit. U.S. supply chain strains are still hovering at a heightened level. Okay, so here's something. Let's put that. Hopefully I can actually see this. Yeah, so this is, well, this is, yeah, so this is December. Yeah, so it's still very backed up ports, especially in LA. I know LA was the one that was really backed up. The Keel Trade Indicator. Yeah. Still hovering at a heightened level. Yeah, supply chain, Oxford Economics U.S. Supply Chain Stress Tracker. Let's see if we can find that. But that is from December, it looks like. And it appears that still very stressed, right? Yeah. I guess high on that means stressed. Is that what that means? Oxford Economics U.S. Supply Chain Stress Tracker. Let's see if we can find an updated version of that. I'm just curious. So it appears that supply chains still have a lot of stress. Yeah, I'm not finding an updated chart yet, but that's something that if I do the deeper dive on this, obviously I will find all these things and get organized. So this is just a kind of an impromptu video here. Yeah, this chart that I found in here is the same. So it certainly looks like supply chains are still pretty stressed. Yeah. So I would say supply chain is still a big factor. It's just simple supply and demand. I mean, I don't think it is it's not as simple as saying it's all corporate greed. And so that's the problem I have with the statement here. Let's see, how long are we here? We're about 7 minutes in. Yeah, I don't have much else to add to this. I couldn't find any data that is real definitive either direction on this. So I just have a problem with people that just throw stuff out there and are kind of definitive on what the problem is. And I think John is guilty of that here. But like I said, I do like John. I think he's one of the good ones out there. He defended Joe Rogan recently, which I think was necessary. And I'll do a video on that. But I think, the Joe Rogan controversy is it's all kind of ridiculous. And the cancellation stuff gets overboard at times. At times I think it makes some sense. I mean, some people take it to an extreme and think that there's never anything that could be worse. People should be canceled. I think some people do stuff so extreme that being canceled is probably appropriate. But I mean, I'm all for free speech and everything. But it's also free speech, I suppose, for people to call out things that people say, right? So free speech works both ways, right? But anyways, that's off topic for this video. Let me know what you guys think. If you want to see me do the actual research and a deep dive on this, or if you know information, if you have some actual hard evidence that goes either direction here, let me know. I'd love to see it. Because I did some quick Google searches. I couldn't find any real hard evidence. The one thing I did see when I did a Google search is I saw a lot of articles, media articles, going down this line of corporate greed is causing inflation. Basically this title, but reworded. I saw that a lot. I didn't see any articles. Well, I saw a few. Yeah, I did see a few that made the other argument that no, it's not all corporate greed causing inflation. I did see that a few places, but quickly skimming through a lot of those articles, I didn't have time to read all of them, but I didn't see any real definitive evidence. Anyways, my phone is ringing. Freebird. I gotta go. See you in the next video.